All right, folks, this is, I guess I call myself Diamond Coach Curtis. This is a little coach session I want to do, and it's, after being 59 years old, making mistakes, running through life, I want to show you a few things that I've learned, haven't perfected, haven't got there. So I'm not rich. I'm not in some of these places I want to go, but this is where I want to go. What I want to talk about is the system that we work in. That's first thing, that the system in which we live. And the first thing comes from Robert Kiyosaki. Okay. And it relates to you either being an E, which stands for employee, an S, which is self-employed, small business, specialist, attorney, sports player. You basically, everything that you're doing is about yourself. This is also service company. And then there's what's called a true B, which is a business owner. A true business is one that the owner does not have to be at the building to make sure things run. And then an investor, and then true investor. Now, some of you, you're going to say, I'm an investor because I put in the 401k. I work as an employee. I exchange time for money, and I'm at putting money here. Well, if anybody's ever been around very long and putting their money there and working for one company, then this 401k has gone up and down and up and down. Okay. If you work for the government, you're an employee. If you're the president of the United States and you don't have a business or an investor, in other words, your own money, the president of the United States is employed by the government for that time period. He may have other businesses. Some of our people that are legislators would have been lawyers. They would have been basically specialists. A doctor could be considered a specialist. A doctor that owns a clinic, he is a business person. Okay. So what determines what we become in life after 40, 50 years? There's a book called Think and Grow Rich, and there's a lot of studies on this. This is our mind, and the mind has a conscious and an unconscious. UNC. That's what that stands for. Conscious mind, unconscious mind. Okay? This is where we make decisions. It's called, I draw it this way, your will. That's where you make choices and decisions. But you're taking in input from people, places, and things, mainly your parents. So whatever your parents were over here is basically, we're getting programmed. Just like when you watch TV, right? You're watching a program. Our inputs and outputs, those are called influences. Okay? Influences lead us. And whatever we are led by influence is what we become, do, say, habits, every kind of behavior. Behavior and habits are a part of what we've heard, what we've learned. We have what's called beliefs, values, and memories. There's more to this. I'm going to try to keep this simple, folks, for you. Belief, values, memories. Okay? You're going to have to go back. I'm going to shorten up the word. I'm not going to write the whole word out sometimes. So you have to just replay. So anyway, this is where we're programmed. This in our subconscious mind is auto program. Auto program. So we just automatically do it. If you're an employee, you're going to go in, and we're going to go into quadrants. So let's go back to parental behavior patterns. If your parents was this, when we went to school back in the 70s and 80s, if you didn't know how to run a business, or you wasn't going to college, so even college folks going to college, or you didn't know, your family was not investors, basically what you did is, if like I had a friend who was going to West Point, he went to West Point and he became an employee of the military government. So there's a time element here. So an employee gives up their time, either 8 to 12 hours. They earn a paycheck. This is actually the fastest way to make money. It's a fast way to get money every week. It's not the way to make the most money, but it's the fastest, easiest way to make money if you'll give your time. This is called the time for money. It's kind of on this quadrant. The same thing if let's say you're an employee and you decide you're going to go out and set out and start your own small business, you're still giving time for money, but you call it a rate. Whatever the rate of your work, and you might work an average of 12 hours all the time as a small business. You will actually work more time. You will actually spend more time here. If you're successful at running your own business, doing your own thing, you will be here. If you start operating a business, now some people move from small town to almost big, and maybe they're passing on in that generation to their sons how to run the business, and dad gets to go do this while the son, so that starts transitioning over there. But if son or family members are there instead of being with you, then you're in between. You're transition from here to here. Investors, a true investor is somebody that knows how to take what money they have, and money makes money. Money makes money. This one, you take the money and you put it into the business, and the business makes money. Money plus business equals profit. If any business that's not profitable is back to failure. Okay, so many people will go from here to here, then they go back to here. It's a back and forth. They go back to employee. Something happens in your life. You can be running a small business and your wife gets sick, like it happened to me, and ended up passing away. You have to go back here because you need easy money, and you need that all forgotten insurance, right? That's gone up. So now you need the insurance. Okay, so you see, you can go back and forth. Maybe you try. If you're going to go through this time, hopefully you do have some kind of retirement check, right? Those people that gave up all this time, this 20 years in the military, then got another job for maybe 20 years, you've given up 40 years of time of your life so that you can have a retirement. Most people, when they get to the age, don't have it, so you get to go to the Social Security zone, and you make very minimum. And so by the time you're 65 or whatever, you have little. Money doesn't care about what you do with it. You either save it. Saving is the first step about money, and investing it for the future. Now we're going to get into something, though, that happens. I'm going to talk about the difference between this side and this side, and I'm going to give you more details. This is something I just learned. And we're going to talk about the zones. And we're going to talk about life as it happens. Okay. Keep in mind, this side here is going to be on both sides, basically, a time and money scale. On this side here, time is, this time you have lots of time. Over here, you have, this is like zero effort, if you can understand it. And this is right about here is about 8 hours that you're going to give. I'll explain. You'll see it when I do this. And this is trying to do 14, 12. Okay. So we're going to talk about what Robert Kiyosaki again talks about, the rat race. So remember when we were doing the ESBI and you were training, you needed easy money or fast money? Most people work 8-hour shifts and they go through a routine. And I want you to see a little mouse in a cage. You get up at whatever time, whatever schedule, midnight shift or whatever, and you go through this routine. And for the, generally speaking, we're talking 8 hours. Now remember, we're exchanging time for money. When we're single, we'll have plenty of money. But as we start increasing and doing family, now, based on the rate that you're getting paid, what you contracted to get paid, as your money goes up and your marriage goes up and everybody gets a pay raise, you work these hours, so does your lifestyle. You started out in the trailer, now you got a house, and now your bills are going up. And that's what we're going to refer to another quadrant. It's called income. It's real simple. Expense, debt, and what we're calling true assets are things that are making income. Now you have cars, you could liquidate them and all that stuff, but we're talking about something that produces income or will be income in your future. But what happens, I've seen this too many times, about you're 25 and about 30, somewhere in there, 25 or, general ages, you get married and then you got to have a house and this ratio goes up. You got more debt, more debt, more debt. Your wife got a job, you both got promotion and you're going. Now, a typical family, once they start having kids, this 8 hours of work, which is really truly for most people, if you're traveling like I was, it's probably more like 10. Just dedicated to work, getting back and forth to work and doing whatever. Then you're going to add some ball games. This is for with kids, right? You got some ball games. So you see my clock is going down. And we're going to go, or we're going to coach, or we're going to be involved in the community. And before you know it, if it's every day and everything, you're what we're going to call. And remember, I'm going to draw a line right here. This is 8 hours. It's about 8 hours right here. Okay. Now we're going to get to what I call the busy zone. Your wife's working. Maybe your wife's a nurse. Maybe they're paramedics. Maybe your company requires you to work the 10 hours or 12 hours. Your busy line just moved up. Some people actually hit this 14. Here's the zone that you got to watch out for. This is the zone I hit. I'm working all these hours, have to work 10, 12-hour shifts. You're going to hit the burnout zone. This is not funny. We can only perform so much on a scale. This is called the stress scale. I learned this because I went through burnout. This is 100%. Okay? Companies want you to give 120%. This is the red zone. They'll push you, push you, push you, push you, push you. And then when you get injured, so let's make sure we understand the zones. Let's do, I'm just going to use blues. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. So I've had people that worked these hours and did all this stuff, had all this stress, right? Busy, burnout. What we're doing is we're increasing stress. There could be stress here. All right. This is what I want you to check. Are you stressing? If you're having social problems or relationship problems, just working 8 hours, there's stress. Know your stress level. This is critical. This can be financial. We could put another one down here, and we could say things like social. Relationship, this social relationship. Okay, so if you lose your spouse or a friend, you're going to be stressed. You're hitting this spot. If you don't have any other friends, you're here. So you see what I'm saying? Different things are stressing you. You know, this might be work. This might be social. This is social. How about mental? You know, trying to pay your bills and your debt ratio, debt, you know. You're stressing. Are you following me so far? So we're not aware of this most of the time. And the reason I'm trying to do is bring awareness to it is that you're doing this and you've been programmed. Remember, you were auto-programmed to do this? I don't know if you can see that. You are auto-programmed. And you just do what you're programming based on what information you have. That's what you're doing. Okay. Let's go to somebody that worked. They worked 20 years in the military and they got a retirement check. They could hit a zone here where they've got a lot of time now. They've got some of the money, and there's kind of like a divider here. So they might go get another job. Some of them do. But more, if they're savers and investors, they put more money back when they get retirement age. They'll have time and money. So this place, this zone here, is where it's been related that the 6% of the wealthy people live. People doing well, got money. They have time and money to do whatever they want whenever they want to, and they're not stressing. They learn something, and this is what we call the 6%. And it's, look, there's like 1% that's filthy above this, if you want to look at it this way. All right. There's different levels of this. But this zone, in zone 4, right, this is what I call the unknown zone. And it's kind of like, how do you get there? My parents didn't teach it to me. You've heard about it, but you're so programmed. You're so programmed. And this is the only way. Now, figuring out business and education and other ways to make money, you're too busy. Your health. This is really what brought me to this, is your health. The health and condition of your body. This is not necessarily related to stress, but if you used to rate yourself from 1 to 10 or 1 to 100, what about your body? This is physical. How is your body doing right now? What could you do to make improvements? I don't think about this. I don't think about it on a daily basis. You know why? Because you're unconscious. You're so busy focusing your attention on everything that you have to do every day that you don't even care anymore. You don't even think about what you put in your mouth. What food, what's in the food, you don't think about it. So this body, this is the body, right? We all know that the body is carrying you. I'm a little stick man, right? It carries you through the morning. It carries you through work. It carries you to the ball games. It carries you through your life. And it's the horse. This is what I would say, why I would say before. It's Aesop's horse going into war. This is warfare. This whole thing is a big warfare thing. We are warring against trying to pay our bills. We are our debt ratio, trying to make enough money to pay our bills. And what's happening is cash flow is going here. This is the problem. So cash flow. Where is your money going? We don't know. We aren't trained. Don't really stop. Don't think, because we're busy or stressed and doing our own thing. It comes through here. Cash flow. Let me make sure you see that with green. Comes here. Paying your bills, necessary. There's still a trash can. But we had to pay our bills or we're going to have a light. We have to then go and we went and bought this and stuff on credit, and that goes over here. And nothing comes over into asset. There's no flow. Maybe you do. Maybe you put some back over in the 401k. That would be an asset. And you hope it doesn't crash because the economy's so bad. So that is an asset. You put some in savings. Cash available. Maybe you bought some silver. Maybe you bought a piece of property that you're actually collecting rent on, and it's actually making money, and the people that are renting it from you, not tearing it up, and you're actually making a positive cash flow. You're making money here. If it's $1 or $10, that's great. All right, but I want to get to this, back to this people. Because we're so programmed and we're unconscious, we never take time to stop and think, what the heck am I doing? Can't. You're busy. Now, you can be busy and you can have all those stuff and everything else line up, enjoy your children, and you can be there. But again, what happens when you're working for the system, specifically corporate America, and you get hurt? You come to this zone. This, I call it the timeout zone in one way. I'm going to just kind of mark it up here. You're not going to be busy. I've got friends that got injured. These are different reasons. We said, well, this was retirement zone. All these have time. You have more time, but you might have less money. Okay? People can get retirement, get a paycheck, they quit being productive, they go into the retired low zone over here. Let me redo that one. This zone here, multiple things can happen. This is the depressed zone. Depression is real. Depression kills. When people have no hope. No hope equals despair. What's lower than depression is despair. This is where suicide occurs. True levels. Deep. This is depression, despair, disappointment, depression, despair. And as it gets down here to this bottom level, I don't know if you can see, if you get to a despair, this lower basement is what I call it. It's falling into the darkness. This is dark. Not seeing light, not getting out. Right here is where people actually, this despair is where suicide occurs. So I'm serious about what I'm doing. This is not it's not a joke. It's not to promote you to do any one particular thing, but it's just to get you to think. Okay, so you might be in the retired zone. You got time. Now, if you come out of burnout, in other words, like me, and I had sick and tired, it takes some of the stuff says about 6 months to recover from burning out of anything. Remember, when you wanted the money, you went for the higher pay raise, and you got more busy and more busy and more busy to make your house payments, okay? And then eventually you burn out. So I know some people that are they're at the early stages of burnout. They're saying, I'm working too much, nobody else is doing anything, and I still don't have any money, but I've been putting in 12, 14, 16 hours. And I try to explain this to them, and they look at me like I'm crazy, so I just say, I know that's no fun. Been there, done that. Well, when you burn out, you come to this zone somewhere. When you get injured at work, you come to this zone 3. Again, you got time, but you have no money. So if you get disabled, you go to this zone. Now, the whole time we might go from here, and we get a little healing, and we'll go back into this zone. Now remember, this could be this is either an E or an S. You might go try to run your own business, but you go from here to here. It's kind of like a two-way street, because remember, you were programmed. That's the only way you know how to make money. That's the only way you want to do it. It's the only way it seems to be acceptable. If you watch Robert Kiyosaki, right, I want to make sure you can see these quadrants. If you watch Robert Kiyosaki, a lot of them will recommend some of these little pyramid schemes, as everybody wants to call them. These things that are doing multi-level marketing, franchise. Franchise is the way, but you got to have a lot of money. You have to be like being in retirement and have money to invest into a business is a franchise. So the thing about it is they all have had bad names. People's had to have a bunch of inventory, but the whole thing is that people can go from here with that type of opportunity. They can be over here, and they can move into this zone where they start building small and they move up however tall you want to go. It's an established business already that you don't have to make. Like, I started doing candle business, so when I was in this zone here and running my own, I was doing this. I was an S. I'm still doing this. I'm a small appliance repairman, okay, and I'm running my own little business, my own little service. But in order to go from this quadrant, which was to business owner, which is kind of questionable too, but if you want to get to the income and time and money, then I don't have to spend time making the products like I was doing with my candle and soap, and I'll still make them. But I don't have a B. You have to get into production. But the product, because the product's already there, all you have to do is share. And what I like about what company I'm in is it's related to healthcare, so it's something I'm into. If you're not really into it, you're probably not going to be excited about it. But if you're like a woman and you love makeup, there's programs for you. And one is free, won't cost you anything. So the product is manufactured, you share, and I know what everybody says, that's the word sell. And the people that hate being sold the most is this people over here, because they're trying to make every little thing. They love to go to Walmart. They love to go to Walmart and give Walmart a big corporation because they're used to giving their time, the big money, and get no payback. So they don't mind giving Walmart, Costco, Sears, any big box. They don't mind giving them the money. But if a friend has got his own store here and is going to make money, they give you hell. Not all of them, but the general mindset is that we want, when you're poor, when you're getting into poverty, you fear not having money and you want to start going to Dollar General. As you move, if you move up in the money zone, you buy more houses. And if your job as an employee is that's where we're getting into class. So let me draw this out. If you're an E, there's a scale on it. You know, it's called pay. So beginners here, you know what I'm saying, right? Got it? So if you're here and you're making good money and you're also a saver and investor, right? You save and invest some of the money and you're putting money back and your cash flow is correct, and you didn't go buy the big houses and all the fancy cars because you never had them, then you'll have savings and investments. Then your 401k, if you know how to monitor it. So anyway, but you can live a nice lifestyle. I have several friends, they've done well because they saved and invest. But for the most part, people go here and they die. They don't do anything. They don't get to travel. If you've got 2 jobs and you just retired and you still haven't got money in the bank, then you have a financial wellness program problem, probably in your head. I have one. I'm working on it. So you're a small business owner. Yes, you got time and money, and as you start learning and looking at opportunities, this is the opportunity zone. This is when you're here and you start looking at how can I get more time and money. I want more time, more money. I want to get to this level. You have to almost burn out, get sick several times before you finally realize, hey, there is opportunities. There's ways that I can get started at least. But And with the internet, you can find many ways to do this. You can find manufacturers. You can do affiliate programs. You can make money while you're sitting at home instead of playing your computer and games and watching TV. So you don't forget your TV time and spending with the family time. Some people, their wife is working or their husband's working these 12s, and the other spouse has to take care of the parents, and they have to switch off. And that's where the social marriage relationship gets in trouble, because they don't get to spend any time with each other. And I'm bouncing around because that's how it's going to go. I don't know what situation you're in. I'm just covering several. So, you know, I talked to a gentleman, and he's been working for the company. Let's say you've been working for the company 15 years, and then you have a shutdown or a layoff. What are you going to do now? This is what you know. This is what you were programmed to do. And all of a sudden, 15 years later, they shut down. Now you got to go find a job, because you got to find a job that's going to pay you what you were paying. And because you've got your pay raises, chances are, unless you're a highly skilled, needed person, you're going to go back down. So you go from $30, $40 an hour, right? And you go back down the pay scale. This is the pay scale, right? You go back down maybe 20, because, you were with the company that you couldn't see anything happen. But we're blind to this opportunity, because we're busy, we're stressed, we're hurt, we're active with our family, we're doing all kind of whatever you're doing. You like fishing, you like hunting, you like buying makeup. You got to have it. But yet, this is where the wealth is, in the 6%. How can you start your own company? There are many opportunities, but then you're going to become to everybody that's in this sector over here, you're going to become a salesman in their mind. Now, not everybody. So that's what I'm working on right now in my own life. I'm looking for people that are not programmed so much, but maybe have a goal, specifically a health goal, to live a healthy life, and a wellness goal. And that wellness goal involves finances, it involves physical, it involves time, more. And it does start. It's starting here. And it's a way to go from here to here. But I'm primarily wanting people to stop wherever you're at. And I want you to really focus on this health and wellness. Health is your body. Health is your mental health. Health is your financial health. The same word, wellness. Are you doing with your body? Are you doing well with your time? If you're not healthy, money doesn't matter. Because you're about to die. No money, no matter. This period, if you're spending all this stuff, you're stressing out, and stress is a silent killer. Make sure you know that. It's silent. And it's silent killer. And the reason it's a silent killer is because you're unconscious of it. No one else is talking about it. Oh, I'm stressed. Well, you're talking about it, but you don't have an action plan, because the plan that you have is what you're programmed to do, and you keep doing it. So it kills. And this is what's killing. People are so busy. You ever try to stop and have a conversation? I'm busy. My mom, she's retired, working on her house. And I'm not picking on my mom, but I'm busy. I'm busy. Everybody's busy. Busy on their phone, busy watching TV. Just try to interrupt somebody with their favorite TV show and see how much attention. Folks, the reason I did this is that last word. It's attention. Somewhere. Oh, we'll scratch this out. That's why I love my erasable pen. I'm just trying to bring what's called attention and awareness. to what's killing people. It's called stress. In busy. Stress in a busy world. Okay? Financial stress. Body stress, because the body's not in shape. Right? Just go back. Financial, body, marriage, or social, or work is related to social. Work is related to pay. Every aspect of our life. Spiritual, soul, body, mind. It's a rat race, and we're doing it, and we're stressing. So if you want to talk, especially at this stage, if you want some help with your health and body, I can help. If you want to talk and be coached on other things, I'd be glad to sit down. If you didn't understand this, call me. Let me know what you think. If you think I'm crazy, that's fine. I'm 59 years old. I'm not where I want to be. I'm not wealthy. But this I've done looking at. It's what I'm learning. And the main thing is I'm tired, sick and tired of people around me dying early. 41-year-old cousin. 51-year-olds, 34-year-olds. Folks, wife dying from cancer. And all of this can be at least somewhat, life can be extended through better health. And it doesn't matter what age you're at. If you're 78, 59, 35, you need to become health conscious. You need to become conscious of what you're putting in your mouth. But the rat race, let's go back to that. Here you are in the rat race with ball games. And after you get through work, you pick the kids up from school. You got to get them to practice. And along the way, they need to eat. So you stop and you get one of those sad diets. It's a standard American diet. You know where you're going. Not going to call the corporations out. But you grab fast food because you're fast on the run because you're busy. So anyway, if you want to talk about ways to improve your health and supplement your food, and then everyday life, if you need more energy or you're doing this and you're hydrating, you may. Another thing is, you know, if you have time on the weekend and you're recreating, we have some things that can help you there too, just to be better hydrated, that are cleaner. The big word about the eating is clean. Clean, 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 please, please, clean. Quit putting toxins in your body. That's what makes you sick. Your head is your first mind. Your gut is your second mind. Your head or stomach or your gut tells you if you've been eating correctly, your energy level. So I hope you enjoyed that. And anybody want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. And I probably got off a little bit. The last little shot, maybe you can remember it. Review the film and give me your input. Is this true? Is this what's going on, or am I making this up?